So you're going on a real life adventure. We are excited for all that God has in store for you and for all of us together in this experience. This video is to help us begin to be prepared to make sure that we really do have an adventure and not a disaster. Now you might be thinking to yourself, a disaster, isn't that something that just sort of happens to you? While it's true that there can be these sorts of quote acts of God through weather or different things that happen, most of the time adventure turns into a disaster due to a lack of good preparation. So we want to do everything that we can to help you feel prepared for this adventure. So in total, there are going to be 4 videos to help you feel prepared. This first intro video to the essentials. The second video will be around the basics of adventure gear. The third will be the basics of adventure food, and then we'll show you how to put it all together for those who are going to be packing their gear or on a adventurer's trip. So, 7 essentials for the remainder of this video are what I want to focus on, and they are basically laid out here on this table. So, for instance, because this is a faith adventure, it's not just about the experience, but also a chance to reflect on the experience. And so the Bible is one of our essentials because we are on a quest for a better story than the one that the culture offers us. And we believe that the Word of God is the way that we access that story. And so we're going to be studying it and reading it together, so bring one. The second is a journal. Everyone will receive a SLAQ journal that you can use, so you don't even have to worry about bringing your own. You just have to make sure that it makes it from registration into your trip. Beyond that, we also have good footwear. Now, there's various items that are important, such as clothing, which we'll get into later, but honestly, if you have bad shoes on this trip, you are going to be miserable because you're going to be going through all sorts of different kind of weather and all of that. So I personally really like Keens because they have the closed toe, but they also can be something that you wear in water. You don't have to wear Keens, you can just have a good pair of shoes, but it has to be something that you're willing to get wet because at times they're gonna get real wet. So whatever that is for you, flip-flops are not okay. And in order to do whitewater rafting, you're actually required to have something covering your toes. Okay, so chacos don't really work if you're going to do whitewater rafting. Beyond that, we also require that everyone have a tube that fits their particular tire. And that's really important because it's not possible for us to stock all the tubes for every possible tire, so you have to know what your tire size is, and you have to get a tube and bring it for your tire, just in case. Beyond that, you need to make sure that you bring your waiver, rafting waiver, and your SLAQ waiver to registration on launch day, which is the first day of the adventure. And then another piece of paperwork is just the checklist, which you will be referencing in connection to this video. The checklist has to be, all the boxes have to be actually checked off, or you have to give an explanation why you don't have a box checked off at registration. Because again, we want you to be prepared and this to be more of an adventure and not a disaster. Let's finish this video by just looking quickly at the bikes. So obviously for a bike packing adventure, one of the absolute essentials is a bike that's in good working order. We are going to be pretty strict about this because if people bring bikes that haven't been ridden for the last 7 years, but someone just dusted it off and brought, and all, you know, the tires are worn out, or perhaps the cables are all dry rotted, it's going to cause a lot of, it's going to be hectic for the whole group because we're going to be helping you having to patch together and repair your bike. So you need to make sure that your bike is actually in decent, good working order. If you're not going on the adventure prep day, then you need to take it at least on a 15-mile bike ride before you come on the trip. So again, you know that the bike is working and that your body is also ready and working. I have 2 bikes here, basically to show you that this bike here can work great if you're a camper, meaning that you're not hauling your gear and you just have your day pack. It runs great. It's a mountain bike. It's got a little fatter tires. It's not the most efficient, but it will work great on the trail and it'll be fine. We're not doing super hardcore long bike rides. It's a full day of biking, but this kind of a bike can work great for that. However, this kind of bike cannot work if you are a packer or a venturer or a sojourner, anyone who's packing your own gear, because it doesn't have a bike rack. So this is more like an ideal kind of bike for these trips, in that it has the bigger tires, so it's more efficient. It's also got the bike rack, which is an essential if, again, you are a packer or doing the venturers or sojourners trip. In addition to the bike itself, make sure that your bike has a lock. There may be situations or scenarios where you want to be able to lock it up quickly. Sometimes we will be in towns and we don't want that to be an issue. And then make sure that your helmet actually fits your head and that it will keep your head safe. It's not going to fall off. Real easy. All right? So, good bikes, good shoes, Bible journal, extra tube, paperwork, helmet. That's about it. When in doubt, check the checklist.